Welcome back to the second sheet of Unit 3, Day 2. In your gradebook, this is actually coded as U3D2b, and it is under Criterion A. Now, in class, we did this mostly in class, but a lot of us did this as homework. Again, we are reviewing functions versus relationships. And I really am only helping you with the last two questions on here because most of this was alone work where you're supposed to be working with your neighbor or with yourself. So here, question D says y equals 3x minus 5, where x represents input values and y represents output values. And what we're trying to do is find if this is a function or if this is a relationship. Now you should notice this equation. Right off the bat, we should know that this is linear. In fact, I know that this is my slope and this is my y-intercept. Let's just label this stuff. This is my y-intercept, and this 3 right here is my slope. Now, the x and the y. X represents input values, and y represents output values. So if we remember how to test for a function, we need to know that our x is linked with only one y. Okay? So every single time that we have these, we have to make sure that the x gives me the same exact y. So let's just go out here and just guess. Let's make up an x. Let's say that x is 2. All right? So let's put in x equals 2, and we are going to try and figure out what y is. So here I'm going to take my equation, y equals 3 minus 5, and inside here I'm going to place my 2. Then 3 times 2 is 6, and then I have my minus 5 equals y, and then I have 6 minus 5. So I know that y equals 1. In other words, my y is 1, so I put a 1 here. Now, is there ever going to be a case where this input, this 2, is cheating? Is this 2 ever going to give me something different? Well, let's test it. So let's do it again. I have y equals 3 minus 5, and this is where my x goes. So I'm going to put in y equals 3, and I'm going to put inside, again, a 2, and I'm going to test it out. So what's 3 times 2? That's going to be 6. What's 6 minus 5? That's going to be 1. Wait a minute. So this time around, when I put in 2, I still got 1 out. I got the same exact thing. No matter what happens, no matter what input I put in, it seems like I'm always going to get the same output. So the answer to this one is going to be yes. This is a function. Now you have to explain. I think that this right here, testing it out twice, is a pretty good explanation, but let's just say that we did it. Every input has only one output. So we know that we're good because we tested this, and if we kept doing this, we'd notice this pattern over and over. Let's move on to E. Okay? Does the graph to the right, this one right here, represent a function? Again, we should remember to test inputs. Well, what are inputs? Inputs are x values. Where are my x values? My x values are all down here. There's one x value that's not listed. That's the 0. So at 0, I have 1. So I know I have 0, comma, 1. At 2, I go up and I have 3. So I have 2, comma, 3. Do I have another one here? I go 2, comma, 5. And over here I have 4, comma, 4. And then 5, comma, 2. my last one is going to be 6 comma 6. 6 comma 6. So the question here is we could test all my inputs. Test all the inputs and see if one of them is cheating. And in fact, this guy is cheating. 2 is with 3 and with 5. In fact, you can see it here. 2 has 2 outputs on his line here. And this is actually called the vertical line test. And we are going to get into that tomorrow. All right? So we know that this is not a function. And input was caught. Caught. Cheating. Cheat in. There you go. If you have any questions, always contact me. I'm always happy to answer your questions. Go ahead, finish the rest of this page. There's a lot more on this page. A lot of it is personal and it's your own ideas. No wrong answers, only wrong explanations. If you don't explain the way your mind is thinking, I can't understand what you're thinking and I can't mark it down correctly. But if you answer something that's wild, but you got a good reason for it, I'm very excited to read those. Excited to see your stuff. Hope you have a great day. Bye.